Have you ever trusted someone's words only to be betrayed by their actions? You believed the promises. You held on to the declarations of change, of commitment, of intent. But when pressure came, when time passed, when no one was watching, their true intentions were revealed. Not through what they said, but through what they did. And it left you wondering, how did I miss the signs? How did I believe words that were never backed by character? Here's the truth you need to hear today. Intentions hide in words. Character reveals in actions, and time exposes the truth. God has given you discernment, not to make you suspicious, but to make you wise. And today, I'm sharing 3 biblical tests that will help you see people's true intentions before you give your heart to hollow promises. If you apply what you're about to learn, you'll stop being deceived by what sounds good and start recognizing what is good. You'll stop making excuses for inconsistency and start honoring the patterns God is showing you. Because discernment isn't about being harsh, it's about being protected. Let's begin. 1. The consistency test. Do their actions match their words over time? Anyone can say the right things. Anyone can perform when they need something from you. But consistency reveals itself not in days, but in weeks. Not in moments, but in patterns. Matthew 7:16 says, "By their fruit you will recognize them." Notice it doesn't say by their words, by their intentions, by their potential. It says by their fruit. And fruit doesn't grow in a weekend. Fruit takes time. What you're looking for isn't what someone says they'll do. It's what they repeatedly do when no one is applauding. Think about the Pharisees in Matthew 23. They had perfect vocabulary. They prayed eloquently. They quoted scripture with precision. But Jesus called them whitewashed tombs. Why? Because their words didn't match their actions. Their righteousness was a resume, not a reality. And here's what you need to understand. Words are a resume. They tell you what someone wants you to believe about themselves. But actions, over time, are references. They tell you what someone actually did when the stakes were real, and no one important was watching. You don't hire someone based on their resume alone. You check their references. Apply the same wisdom to the people you're allowing into your life. What feels like connection in week 1 may just be performance. What sounds like commitment in the beginning may just be strategy. Because some people aren't consistent. They're simply good at starting strong. They know how to make an impression. But when the newness wears off, when familiarity sets in, the effort drops. The communication slows. The follow-through fades. Nothing changed. Week 1 was performance. Week 7 is pattern. And patterns don't lie. If someone is attentive when pursuing you, but distant once they sense you're invested, that's not love. That's manipulation. If they make grand promises, but consistently fail to follow through on small ones, believe the pattern, not the potential. If their words are beautiful, but their actions are inconsistent, you're being deceived by language, not led by truth. Proverbs 20:6 says, "Many claim to have unfailing love, but a faithful person who can find?" People claim love all the time. They claim loyalty, commitment, devotion. But faithful people, consistent people, people whose actions align with their words across weeks and months, those are rare. And that's what you're looking for. Give it time. Don't evaluate someone based on their best week. Evaluate them based on their average month. Track patterns, not moments. Because if someone is inconsistent for 6 weeks, they're not going through a phase. They're showing you who they are. And when someone shows you who they are, believe them. 2. The pressure test. How do they respond when life gets hard, or when you set a boundary? Pressure doesn't build character. Pressure reveals it. Anyone can be kind when everything is easy. But how someone treats you when they're stressed, when you say no, when things don't go according to plan, that's when you see who they really are. Luke 6:45 says, "Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks." When pressure is applied, whatever has been stored in the heart overflows. If there's respect, it shows under stress. If there's love, it remains when life gets hard. But if there's selfishness, control, or contempt, pressure will expose it. Look at Nehemiah. In Nehemiah chapters 4-6, enemies came with threats, mockery, manipulation. The pressure was relentless. But Nehemiah didn't fold. He didn't lash out. He prayed. He set guards. He kept building. Pressure revealed his character. Faithful, steady, unmoved. That's what you're looking for. Not someone who's perfect under pressure, but someone whose character holds when life pushes back. Here's what pressure reveals. If someone is only kind when they're comfortable, that kindness isn't rooted in character. It's conditional. If they respect you only when you're agreeable, but punish you with silence or manipulation when you set a boundary, that's not love. That's control disguised as affection. Pay attention to how they respond when you say no. Do they honor your decision, or do they guilt you? Do they respect your boundary, or do they test it? Do they communicate their disappointment maturely, or do they punish you emotionally until you give in? Because a person who cannot handle your no does not truly respect your yes. A person who punishes you for having boundaries does not love you. They love having access to you, and there's a difference. Watch how they handle disagreement. Does a difference of opinion turn into an attack on your character? Can they disagree without disrespecting? Can they be wrong without making you the villain? Because if someone cannot handle being challenged without lashing out, that's not maturity. That's fragility disguised as strength. If they can't handle small stress now, they won't handle real life later. If they blame you for their emotions now, they'll blame you for their failures later. If they manipulate you when things don't go their way now, they'll control you when the stakes are higher later. Pressure is a truth serum. It doesn't create what's not there. It reveals what's been hidden. And if what comes out under pressure is cruelty, blame, or manipulation, you're not seeing a bad moment. You're seeing their heart. So test it. Set a reasonable boundary. See how they respond. Say no to something small. Watch what happens. If they respect it, that's alignment. If they guilt you or punish you for it, that's a warning. And warnings from God are mercies. Don't ignore them. 3. The community test. How do they treat people who cannot benefit them? If someone is only kind to people they need something from, that's not character, that's strategy. But how they treat people who can't elevate them, can't benefit them, can't open doors for them, that reveals the heart. Jesus taught this in Luke 14. He said, "When you give a banquet, don't invite your friends or rich neighbors hoping they'll invite you back. Instead, invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, the blind, and you will be blessed." Why? Because kindness to people who cannot repay you reveals whether your love is transactional or transformational. Apply this principle. Watch how the person you're evaluating treats people who can't do anything for them. How do they speak to the waiter, the driver, the person at the register who made a mistake? How do they talk about people when those people aren't in the room? Because how someone treats a stranger today is how they'll treat you once familiarity sets in. Right now, you're important to them. You're someone they're trying to impress. But if they only respect people they're trying to win over, you will not be respected once they feel they have you. How do they speak about their ex? With bitterness and blame, or with accountability and grace? Because one day, if this relationship ends, they'll talk about you the same way. How do they treat people in service positions? With patience or with condescension? Because that impatience will eventually be directed at you. Do they help when no one is watching? Do they give when there's no recognition? Do they show up for people who can't return the favor? Or is their kindness a tool they only use when it benefits them? 1 John 3:18 says, "Let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth." Words are easy. Actions cost something. And the actions that cost the most are the ones done for people who can give nothing back. That's where you see the heart. So watch the community test closely, because how they treat the unimportant reveals how they'll treat you when you're no longer new, no longer exciting, no longer someone they need to impress. Beloved, discernment is not suspicion. Discernment is protection. God doesn't give you the ability to see clearly so you can judge everyone around you. He gives it to you so you can guard your heart, protect your peace, and align yourself with people whose character matches their claims. Intentions hide in words. Character reveals in actions. And time exposes the truth. God would rather show you who someone is in 6 weeks than let you discover it in 6 years when you're deeply attached, emotionally entangled, and spiritually drained. So run the tests. Watch for consistency over time, not just good days, but average months. Pay attention to how they respond under pressure. Not when life is easy, but when stress comes, when you set boundaries, and observe how they treat people who can't benefit them. Not just you, not just people they need, but the stranger, the waiter, the person they'll never see again. If someone passes all 3 tests, you have found someone worth investing in. Not perfect, but consistent. Not flawless, but faithful. Not without weakness, but committed to growth. That's alignment. That's character. But if someone fails even one test, pause. Don't ignore it. Don't excuse it. Because inconsistency now doesn't become consistency later just because you love harder. A person who crumbles under small pressure now won't hold up under real life later. A person who is cruel to those who can't benefit them will eventually direct that cruelty toward you. Grace doesn't mean ignoring truth. Grace doesn't mean pretending red flags are just rough patches. Grace means loving people enough to see them clearly and wise enough to protect yourself when their actions don't align with their words. So let this be your prayer. God, give me the courage to believe what I'm seeing, not just what I'm hearing. Give me discernment to recognize character, not just chemistry. Protect me from my own excuses. Help me honor the patterns you're showing me. Because you didn't call me to settle for potential. You called me to align with purpose. You didn't call me to chase words. You called me to follow fruit. And I trust that when you bring the right person into my life, their actions will confirm what their words declare. If you needed to hear this today, type in the comments, "God, give me the courage to believe actions over words." Say it until your heart believes it. Write it until your spirit feels it. Because when you choose discernment over desperation, you position yourself for a love that is real, not just one that sounds good. And if this message strengthened you, remember to like, subscribe, and share so others can walk in the same wisdom God is giving you today. God bless you.